Hello, everyone. I am back. It is Hush No More with Dr. Vanessa. I am excited because today is April the 1st. That means it is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, Child Sexual Abuse Awareness Month, Child Abuse Awareness Month. There's so much going on this month, but those are the ones that are very important to me and to Hush No More. So I am excited about this month. I know that a lot of people will come forward to get resources, to just come for some love. We'll have amazing events this month all throughout our communities. So I encourage you to actually go out and go to some type of event that is just empowering and uplifting and just have a great time. So that's what it's about this month. And I'm really honored to be able to talk this month. And I'm going to share some of my own struggles and things that I've been through. And I'm always anxious to just talk and to share and to just be able to give a perspective from a survivor. And that is what tonight is about. It's about my perspective, how I feel about sexual trauma, the things that I want to talk about. And it's about me tonight, right? So I'll be doing other interviews this month, but today is about me and how I can share things that are going on with me. I want you to know that if you are triggered at any point during this time, that my favorite resource is actually rain.org. That's RAINN.org. They have resources, they have counseling. You can literally put in your zip code and see what the resources are available in your area. And a lot of times they're free. So when it comes to sexual assault, domestic violence, there are free resources out there. So you don't have to struggle alone. So remember that. And I always look at triggers as God's way of saying we need a little bit more work. And I get triggered too. I'm not perfect. I'm not like completely healed. I have things that go on with me too. And so I openly share them because I think that's how we learn from each other and that's how we grow. So tonight, rain.org. And if you are a male, rain.org will help you too. But my favorite resource for men is 1in6.org. It's a great website. I like it a lot because it targets men and the things that men go through, and especially from childhood as in adulthood. So it's one of my favorite websites for guys. And so you could share those resources with people that you know. So that is the goal tonight, right? I'm excited. Hey, Kim, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. So let's get into this. Why am I sharing tonight? Because anytime that you can share your journey, when you can share your story, when you can share, that is an opportunity for you to heal. That is an opportunity for you to be able to get some peace, to be able to be strong. That is your opportunity to say, no matter what happened to me, I will not let an individual take control of my life, and I'll share my own story. Because people love to share your story. They love to gossip. They love to talk, right? So they love to share your story. So I think it's important that we share our own story. I don't let nobody share my story. I'm going to share my own story. And that is the goal tonight. How I often share my story is through poetry, because poetry and written words is the way that I work on trauma. So we have two books. And when I was writing the books, y'all, it was like I was nervous. Like I didn't want to do it myself. So some courageous souls joined me in sharing their story and also sharing their poetry, right? And those are the Hush No More books. You can find them at hushnomore.org on our website. And that is how I became resilient, being able to share my story. Just in case if you read what the topic is tonight, it's my bullshit. I don't look at bullshit as a cuss word. It's just what it is, and that's how I name my trauma, because that was the only way that I can formulate it. And so I encourage you to name your trauma, right? Whatever it is, put a name to it so that you can heal and feel a little bit better. So I'm going to start off with some poetry because normally when I'm training and I'm sharing my story, that is the way that I share, and so that's how I'm gonna share with you all tonight. All right. R. Kelly versus India Ari. What is your favorite R. Kelly song or CD? Most people love his music and know every beat. Not me, because when I hear his voice, I remember the day when you asked me to be there and treated me like a queen. You were so nice. I didn't think you could ever be evil. That is why I trusted you when you said, let's go to my room and watch a movie. Your dark arms turned into snakes as they started to explore my body. They were strong and overpowered my small hands. Your couch turned into a bed as you pushed me down. You took your pants down faster than the speed of lightning. I couldn't believe that you were entering my treasure for only your pleasure. I just laid there with questions running through my head. Why are you doing this? Why are you hurting me? Are you wearing a condom? Will I catch AIDS? Will I get pregnant? Will you ever stop? I became lost in my thoughts as you took over my body without permission. I just lay there fighting back salty tears that were falling down my face. It was like you were running your own race. When I tuned out your heavy breathing, all I could hear was, I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Homie, lover, friend, it seems like you're ready. Sex me, baby. And finally, 12 play. You rate me for the entire CD as if it was your theme song and hours long. So, yes, I hate the sound of R. Kelly's voice and the sound of your voice as you said, Soldier, no one will believe you. Now I am healing, and I use my voice to help others escape the demise of rape. Today, my tears still fall, but they are full of joy as they flutter down my face like beautiful butterflies. Your actions no longer have me bound, so I no longer frown. I have replaced R. Kelly with India Ari. Life is a journey, not a destination. There are no mistakes, just chances we're taking. It's a beautiful day. I am light. I am light. And now I'm ready for love and ready to conquer the shame by placing it on you because you should be ashamed of what you did to me. You were wrong. They believe me. And instead of fighting a war in Iraq, I leave the battle to God, who has my back. Signed, Private Vanessa Dunn, now Guyton. I love poetry, y'all, because for me, that is the way I'm able to heal. So this is the poetry. The first time I wrote it in our book, I wasn't in a place to write the positive side for India Ari. I think it's important that when you are writing your trauma that you go back and you bring out the positive to show your healing. So that's where India Ari came in. India Ari is like my cousin, y'all. People don't even know how close we are. Because her music for me is healing. So music, poetry, just sunshine, those are just simple things that I use for healing. And I just think it's important that we be able to share our story no matter how it may go, whoever you want to share it with. Some people don't share on a large platform like I do. I tell people all my business, right? You don't have to do that. You don't have to share from that perspective. For me, you can share with someone close to you. You can share with an advocate. You can share with victim advocates at the police department. You can share with others, right? People that you trust, those safe spaces. And that's what helps me, right? I believe that we heal through those things and just taking our power back and writing, right? Writing. So tonight, I just want to talk about, for me, some of the myths that people want to say for individuals who are sexually assaulted. It's bogus, and that's what a lot of times I call the bullshit, right? um when you look at the things that people say, the victim blaming, why were you in her room, why were you in his room, why did you put yourself in that situation, why did you wear things? People ain't looking to get raped, period, right? That's some bull. Like, you're not looking to get raped. And that is one of the reasons why I never reported. I was sexually assaulted by a battle buddy of mine. He was actually a mentor and he was the commander's driver. I was the post commander's secretary and he was the driver. If you know anything about the military, people that are in those type of roles are very distinguished. They get all the awards, the general love them. Like the general thought that he was the most amazing soldier ever. So I didn't report because I didn't think anybody would believe me because I was in his room. Why did I go to his room? It was because I wanted to go to watch the VCR tapes called In Living Color. I remember In Living Color, In Living Color. That was the show, right? And he literally had VCR tapes from the States. And I was in Germany, my first duty station, and I thought I knew it all, right? I was young, thought I knew it all, but I didn't, right? I trusted people. I trusted him because he was my everything. Like he taught me how to run. He taught me how to pass my boards, how to get promoted. Like I really looked up to him. And Lord and behold, he wasn't a nice guy, right? I thought he was. I thought he was. And most people, when it comes to sexual assault and you're in close quarters with someone, it's normally by somebody that you know. It's not the stranger danger, right? It's not the stranger danger. And I want people to understand that. It's like just because you were in a room or alone with somebody doesn't mean that you were consenting to have sex with a person. He was way older than me. He probably was like 35 years old. I'm 18. So he was old. Like my mom would say things, my mom, my grandma would say things like he got worms, right? That's what it was like. He got worms. I wasn't looking at him like that. Never in a million years was I looking at him like that. And so I think sometimes people don't understand that you don't necessarily want it just because you hang out with a person. A lot of it is date rape, right? Majority of sexual assaults are they occur either at a person's house or in the neighborhood, somewhere close to their home, right? That's where majority of sexual assaults occur, but we don't talk about that. And so I never wanted to tell because I felt like people were going to blame me and say that it was me, right? And ain't no felt like it. That's how it was. People really didn't pay attention to military sexual trauma during this time. This happened in 1994 and it wasn't a thing. That night, I went to my barracks room. I locked my door, put my wall locker in front of the door, and I was like, I ain't telling nobody. Like nobody was gonna believe me. And so that morning, I got up. I ran 4 miles, and if you know me, I don't like to run, so that was big for me, right? That was big for me, and I just let it go. And literally, like 17 years later, I had a trigger, and I was in the Columbia Mall on Two Notch. Most of y'all know what Two Notch is, an old ghetto mall that's out there now. And I saw a guy that looked like him coming out of the store, and I freaked out. And that was history. It was so bad that I went home. I drank a whole bottle of Remy. I always tell how my friend Latasha Hunter, Master Sergeant, retired Hunter, came and picked me up and took me to the VA hospital because I couldn't stop crying. Like literally, I was crying for hours. And I was committed to the VA in the psych ward for a week. And it was the best week of my life because I was able to focus on myself and not other people. And I think sometimes individuals are like nervous about going to get help, being committed, but I liked it, y'all. I got so much information. I got so much help, just individualized attention. That's what all the best psych doctors are. Like, that's what all the doctors are. They're on the psych ward. Like, that's what they are. And then I even got diagnosed by another patient. I was in the day room and the guy was like, "What you here for?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing. I couldn't stop crying because, we don't never tell people our business and how bad it really is, right?" So I was like, nothing. I couldn't stop crying. And he said, "Nah, you was drunk. You was drinking." I was like, "I wasn't drunk." He was like, "Yes, you was." Like, "No, I wasn't." He said, "Yes, you was." I was like, "No, for real, I was not drunk." He said, "How much did you have to drink?" I was like, probably like the whole bottle, but I drink like that all the time. He was like, "You was drunk." You know how I know? Because that happened to me. You know how many times I done been in here because I got drunk and was crying and couldn't go home. So I even got diagnosed by another veteran. So it was like the best thing ever that happened to me. And from that came Hush No More. I started working on try how I'm going to heal and then how I could give places for others to be able to share their journey and to feel safe and to focus on healing because healing is so important. And for me, I didn't even realize how bad my trauma was. I didn't realize how bad my drinking was. And so I'm going to talk about some signs of Kim. I did say he got worms. He's like, "That's what I thought, right? The old men had worms. We don't do nothing with no old men." Now I realize the old men are the one that got good jobs, retiree, like they got life experiences now. So it's different now that I'm older, but I know better. But for me, it was very difficult to diagnose the problems that I was having. Because remember, I told y'all I didn't remember. And people will say, how did you not remember being sexually assaulted? A lot of survivors have suppressed memories, and we don't want to really remember, right? That's one thing. Who wants to remember that? So we suppress a lot of them. Sometimes our brain works. I always talk about the trauma in the brain and how our brain will actually protect us from certain traumas. And we'll have a whole discussion on the brain and trauma and how that works. But I had to study the brain so I could study how in the heck did I forget being sexually assaulted? How did I suppress that all that time? And it's the way that our brain protects us, because when you remember being sexually assaulted, you have anxiety, you're hypervigilant, like all these stresses come to your body, and your brain is like, we cannot do this, right? We cannot do this. And so I tried to study that to figure out for me and other survivors how that can be true. So that's one part that I want to talk about, like the myth of you can forget. I was very suicidal. I had committed suicide, attempted suicide twice. I always laugh and be like, God, you must have something real big in store for me because I wasn't successful. I always had suicidal ideations. I wasn't happy. From the outside, I wore a mask. Everybody thought I was good, but I was not good, right? I drank every day. And I didn't think I had a problem because I would drink for sleep, right? I didn't drink like to hang out. Like I never got a DUI. If I went out, I have a couple of drinks and come home, then I would drink. I would drink to sleep. I would drink to relax. Was what my drinking looked like. And then I couldn't stop. I had tried to stop and couldn't. Thank God I've been sober since February 7th, 2019. Yay me. So it's a big thing for me in sobriety, but that was one of the signs that I was having a problem. The suicidal ideations was one. Hypervigilant. I would check the doors all the time in my house. Like if I heard something, I'm getting up. I'll go check the doors, check the windows. Like I could not sleep. It would annoy me so bad. Like it was so bad. My neighbor next door had put up this pumpkin for Halloween on the side of the house. And I kept feeling like somebody was coming through my window, to the point that I had to say something because I couldn't even sleep because I felt like somebody was coming in. The other one was isolation. There's such things as healthy isolation, right? And then there's such things as unhealthy isolation. So unhealthy isolation is when you're just hiding from the world, when you don't want to be bothered, when you're crying, you're sleeping all the time, you're absolutely miserable, but you don't want nobody to know that you're miserable, and you don't want to communicate with nobody. You don't want nobody to know what you're going through. You might not take a bath. You might not brush your teeth, right? You haven't put on deodorant. You could care less what you're wearing. All of those are signs. I had a friend, she told me when she was in the military that she didn't take a bath because she thought that if she didn't, the men wouldn't sexually harass her or sexually assault her because she had been sexually assaulted so much. So not taking a bath is very common for individuals who've been sexually assaulted. That is some things that we don't really talk about, but it's true. The other one is being hypersexual. You might have a whole lot of sexual partners and not understanding why. Sometimes it's because you don't care about your body. Somebody else took it, so you don't care if somebody else take it. Sometimes, like I felt like I could just hurt men. And it's unfortunate that with trauma, we hurt people, right? And so I'm real honest about the things that I've done. And there were some men that I really did hurt because I wasn't interested in a relationship with them. It was just purely sexual. And these was like good guys that wanted a relationship, but I couldn't. There was no capacity for me to do that. And so that's one of the things that we could do. Or some people don't want to have no sex. There were times that I didn't want to be touched at all. And so it's like no sex at all. Or when you do have sex, it's not healthy. It's not fun. It's not engaging. Like you're jumping because individuals are touching you and they're touching you at a space that triggers you. Or if you were choked during a rape or a sexual assault and they choke you, then having sex and somebody choking you will freak you out. And so a lot of times we have very unhealthy sexual activity. So it's either a lot or none at all. So you really want to have like a balanced sexual energy, right? And so those are just some of the things that I went through from being sexually assaulted. And I had to apologize to my kids, to my ex-husband about that I was absent. I was not there like I should have been or could have been. So if y'all see, I do a lot with my kids. Like I'm trying to pour into them more, trying to love on them, to just show them that I'm showing up now. But sometimes you can't. you can't when the trauma is so huge. It's really hard to show up. And it's even worse when you have childhood trauma that is popping up in there, right? And so I always say that don't beat yourself up because things happen and we don't know. But for me, it was a big struggle mentally to show up. And what's crazy, y'all, I had jobs. Like sometimes I'll see some of my old workers, like I had good government jobs, right? I'll see some of my old co-workers and they'll be like, girl, we didn't even know that. We had no clue that you was going through that because I got my life together to go to work, right? Getting in my car, I'm praying on my way. Like I'm singing gospel songs on my way to work, something about the name Jesus, trying to get it together. And then on my way home, same thing. Like, how can I get my life together to be able to show up, right? And so that happened for years. I had a hard time showing up. Years serving in the army. I did not like in the army. Like, I, for me, the army was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Right? I don't like running. That was the main part, right? I love my job. I love doing personnel and HR, but I didn't like running. But the military was for me was an opportunity to get my education. So even though things happened while I was in the military, it doesn't mean that I'm mad at the military or that I hate the military because I don't. The military is trying, they're trying to do the best that they can. The Department of Defense have programs now for those who have been sexually assaulted, sexually harassed, right? So they're trying, but there was no programs in place when I was there in the military. You had to go to like the chaplain. And who wants to go to the chaplain and tell them something? I wasn't going to the chaplain because first of all, the chaplain and the commander was really close, and that's who I work for. So I'm not mad at the military or regret it because they paid a lot of money for my education. I'm 100% disabled now. And so, yeah, I got PTSD. It used to be real bad. Like I used to have a service dog. Like I got Bear. If y'all ever seen Bear, Bear is my service dog. I don't have to bring him out with me as much anymore because I don't need to keep people away from me. But there was a time that I couldn't even let people come close to me. Like if you got into my personal space, my anxiety was up. So just social anxiety was on a 10, right? I don't have that anymore. And I attribute a lot of that to the holistic healing, right? The holistic healing that I do. The trees, I hug trees and I sit up on the trees and I ground. I take my shoes off and I ground a lot. I take a lot of herbs for depression. Like I take blue lotus. I'm not on any psych meds anymore from the VA right now. I use all herbs to be able to control my moods and my depression and my anxiety because I didn't want to have to take medicine. I didn't want to have to take medicine to stop drinking, right? They had gave me gabapentin to stop drinking. Like, you know, all the side effects with gabapentin. I needed it for a while, but then I got off of it. And so I do a lot of herbs. I go to a water, I meditate, waterfalls, and I have eliminated people that causes drama, mess with my peace. You can't be in my life if you mess with my peace. Because if you mess with my peace, then I'm gonna want to drink, and I don't want to drink. So I have a very peaceful life, and I don't have a lot of the friends that I used to have. It's not that I said, "Oh, I'm not dealing with you anymore." It's just that my circle has changed, and I focus on like good, fun places and healthy places for me, and I focus on myself. I can't show up for other people if I don't show up for myself. And a lot of you show up for other people more than you show up for yourself. And I actually encourage you to show up for yourself because that is important, right? That is so important that we show up for ourselves. And so I done told y'all all my business. I'm gonna go to the comments and I also want to give y'all some information like about some stats and stuff. But I'm gonna go to the comments because a lot of y'all are here. Hey y'all. All right, Shonda, I love you too, cousin. Thank you for coming on tonight. A lot of you are on. I tried to show while I was talking your comments. Thank you, Frankisha. Sherry, hello, beautiful. I can't wait till me and you get together because I've been missing you. And Miss Reese, thank you. And thank you for the prayers. You know, I love you too. And you know, like how Reiki and all of that actually helps us. And so all the holistic things really help us as we're going through. Kim, it's hard to really love our loved ones when we are broken or don't love ourselves due to our own trauma. You're absolutely right. And it hurts when you can't show up for them the way that you want to show up for them, right? When they want to go out and you like, man, I'm so depressed, I can't even get dressed. I don't even know what I'm gonna wear today. So you're absolutely right. It's hard for us to show up for others before we show up for ourselves. So thank you for that comment. Frankisha, you have proven you stood up. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all, Frankisha is my sister. So she knows me very, very well. But what's crazy is sometimes my sisters, my family didn't even know that I was sexually assaulted until probably 2018. I spoke at a conference in Orlando, Florida, and shared my story. And that's when they found out. So a lot of times we don't even share with our family what has happened to us. And not because, for sometimes you don't trust your family. Now, that is sometimes you can't tell your family because you can't trust them. But that wasn't my reason that I didn't tell my family. I didn't tell my family because, one, I was embarrassed and ashamed, right? I didn't want them to worry. My dad is crazy. My dad was actually stationed with me in Germany at the same time, and I did not tell him because I didn't want him mad. I didn't want him to come into my unit. I didn't want my daddy to show out. That's the kind of father I have. And a lot of you have fathers like that. But I just didn't want to upset my family. I didn't want to disappoint them. I just didn't want to make them feel uncomfortable or anything. So, not even that they wouldn't believe me, I just didn't want to put them through the things that I had been through. Right. And it's embarrassing, y'all. It's embarrassing to be like, I'm an alcoholic. I ain't got no shame now because it is what it is. Because this girl is healing. So you don't always tell your family. So don't be like, oh, why you didn't tell me? Why you didn't say nothing? Because the individual couldn't. One of the hardest things ever, y'all, is to come forward and to tell somebody that you've been raped, that you've been sexually assaulted, that you were molested. That is not easy. Some people can't even talk about consensual sex. Some of y'all can't even talk about the last time y'all had sex in your bedroom. So then you want to talk about sex that you didn't consent to? No, it's not easy. And so don't ask people why they didn't tell you. What you do when you find out is say, I honor you. I love you. I'm so glad that you shared with me. I'm so glad that we had this moment together. Because if they wanted to tell you, they would have. But they were making decisions for themselves that you would never understand if you've never been through similar things, right? And so don't be so hard on people. Bear is my service dog, and I absolutely love him. I might need to stop saying his name for he want to come in here. All right, Pele, I am beyond proud of you. Thank you, love. I am proud of myself too. I'm proud of myself, right? I am. Today I'm gonna keep going through the comments, but I do want to talk about my day today. I do want to talk about my day. Kim says she goes to visit the elephants, y'all. She's a true lover of nature. That's my friend. Y'all, animals and nature really do help you heal. I love elephants and butterflies and tigers and lions. Like I love all animals. And they do. They understand your energy and they could just make you feel better. Okay. Oh, hello. Pacquiao, I listened to you from Thailand. You said very well. Thank you for listening to me. I was looking at your name and I didn't want to pronounce it wrong, but thank you. I tell everybody that I met the most amazing people um, in Thailand, and you were one of them. So thank you for joining my live. That made me feel so special, and you the bomb too. I can't wait till I come see you again. So thank you. All right. Peace is very important, Frankisha is correct. And Pele say peace is power. It is. That's how you get your power back. When people be having all that drama, I don't do no drama. Don't call me with no mess because I really don't want to talk about it. Right? That's where I'm at. All right. Frankisha said fly. First, not Frankisha. Pele. She said, first love yourself. She always says fly. We gotta fly. We gotta love ourselves. And my favorite coach of all times, right? The one who helped me to share my story is the most amazing Angela Carr Patterson. Thank you for being proud of me, Angela. That means a lot to me. Y'all, she rocked with me to help me get this story out because I didn't want to tell nobody. I was telling everybody else's story, but wasn't telling my own. And she called me out and said, Vanessa, it's time for you to share your story. And so I did. And I will forever be grateful to Angela and love coaching with her. I still coach with her to this day. So if you're looking for a great coach, she's the one. I love me some you, Hunty. I love you too, Pele. All right. So Frankisha said, absolutely, nope, we didn't. They didn't understand, and they were upset. They were very upset with me that I didn't tell them that I had been sexually assaulted. And I have 5 sisters. I didn't tell my family. Very few people knew that I had been sexually assaulted. My roommate, um, Tanya Jackson, she was my roommate in Germany. She knew years later, not when it happened that night. I didn't tell her that night, but I told her years later. Um, Tony Guyton, who is my parenting partner, I told him. But other than that, I wasn't telling people. And the only reason why I had to tell Tony is because I attempted suicide and he couldn't understand, like what was going on. So he really wanted to know, like, why all these years, like what was going on with me during that time. And so I told him. Okay. So my family really was upset. And that's part of why I share to individuals in our community. Don't be upset with your family. Don't be upset, because it's not easy to tell what is happening to us. Okay. It's not. Give them some grace. And it might take them years. And then, especially when people don't believe you. So that's the hard part. Stacy, I thought I could remember my childhood because of my seizures. And you do have epilepsy too, right? And so that's really hard. All the things that go on when we're a child, that's hard when you also have seizures, right? Or when we have blockage from childhood trauma. So that's a big one that we don't always realize that's what's going on. So finding answers to our trauma is big, and that's why I share mine and talk about what I go through. Frankisha, it's been over 20 years, and this is the first time I'm hearing about the commander. I'm mad all over again. That's my sister, y'all. Because you got to come to some of my speaking engagements, ma'am. And sometimes when I share different things. I don't always share the same all the parts of a story. Like today was very condensed. I went through it real fast, especially if I share my poetry, sharing my story. I don't really get into it that much. Unless I'm trained in victim advocates, then I go real deep into my story. But I don't always tell everything, or it's not appropriate, or God just don't give it to me at that time, right? So don't be mad at me. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. Hey Damon, thank you for joining. I love when men come on, right? I love that. And why I keep saying falape? Faape ele. That's how you say on that. And she says she loves me, nature, and water and trees. Because it works, right? May, hello, May. Okay, y'all. May is from the Philippines tapping in. Thank you for joining us. She said, hi, Dr. Vanessa, you're amazing. And May, you are too. So thank you for joining me. And I love your country. You're gonna see us. We're coming back. We're coming back to the Philippines. And I was too. I didn't even tell I didn't even tell my family about it. Oh, May. Yeah. So May is saying, I'm sorry, I couldn't read May, that she didn't tell her family either. So it's oftentimes that we don't tell our families. And May, thank you for sharing. And I honor you in this moment. You know, I love you and thank you for sharing. That means a lot. Kim said, it's not something that's easy to share with your family. My friends know, but I've never been able to share the full story with my family. They know something happened, but not exactly what happened. Yeah, man, it's not easy for us to share. I tell you that because first of all, you got to get the words. You don't even know how to say it. You know, I told y'all tonight the title is my bullshit. This trauma is bullshit. That's how I sum it up. I'll be like, that bullshit that happened to me. And I don't look at that as a cuss word. I look at that's what it's called. That's the name of my trauma, right? So you don't always have the words. And I honor you, Kim. You know, I always talk to you about being so courageous. And Kim is also, she shared her story in our poetry book. And she always share her poetry as a way of healing and trying to work on trauma too. So thank you for sharing. Okay. All right. And May, love you too. Thank you, Pele, for sharing this live with me. Oh, thank you, Pele, for sharing the live. And if y'all are on, please share the live. Help us raise awareness because that is the goal for us, right? So I want y'all to know this because people be like, it's not that big of a deal with sexual assault. Why y'all got a whole month for sexual assault? Did y'all know that every 68 seconds, a child, a man, or a woman is sexually assaulted in our country? Every 68 seconds when you break down the stats. 1 in 6 women report that they have been sexually assaulted or attempted rape in their lifetime. That's a lot of women. Men, right? They say 1 in 33. I've also seen 1 in 6. There's so many different numbers. But I think with stats, they're not always right because everybody don't report. That's what they think. I know that men are higher than that because I've met so many men that come and talk to me. I've also met so many men that have been in very unhealthy relationships because of their trauma. So men have a very high rate, and I don't even like the stat of 1 in 33. 6,300, 63,000, not 100, 63,000 children are abused every year. And the one thing about children is normally between the age of 12 to 17, but 90% is somebody that they know, right? That is crazy. That is crazy that our children are being abused in that manner. So they become broken adults, right? And there's so many adults that have been abused during childhood. And then FY23, I'm gonna give y'all the Department of Defense numbers. FY23, the numbers was 8,515 individuals reported being sexually assaulted. The number came down from FY22. It was 8,924. So they did have a decline, which is good for the military. But if it's one person, it's too many. And I always say that people are not reporting. People don't report being sexually assaulted, so we know those numbers are higher. So it's a major problem, and that's why we raise awareness. That's why we love on individuals who have been through trauma. That is why I do the work that I do, because I know it's a lot of us out here, and it's not just me. But the numbers are crazy, y'all, and I get really upset. Okay. Stacy, my counselor told me that my brain is trying to protect me. It is. It is, Tracy. I mean, Stacy. Lord mercy. I'm talking about Tracy. One thing about our brain, right? It is smart and it controls your entire body, right? It controls our entire body. And so different parts of your brain is going to hold trauma and it's going to block it to protect you. Sometimes people can't even remember the name of their abuser, right? And they're mad. Or people in our society will say, well, why didn't they say something sooner? You know, your brain will block it. And we don't have any control over that. And sometimes you feel so guilty because you don't remember, right? Or you can't put it all together. And people will say, oh, they're lying. They're not lying. It's hard to connect because your brain is working to protect you, to stop you from having all the memories. And it's scientifically true. It's not just somebody talking, right? It is scientifically true. And I'm actually going to do a whole um, podcast on trauma in the brain because it's important that we understand how our brains working and why it's doing what it's doing. And when I found that out, I literally started crying tears of joy to know that I was going through that. So thank you for sharing, Stacy. Kim said, Stacy, it is. I believe my seizures have been triggered by me being triggered by the person who molested me. I would love to see research on that, Kim, of all of the individuals who have epilepsy, who have seizures, who have also been molested as children. That would be very interesting to conduct. Kim is the executive director and founder of Hearty Hands, and they help individuals with epilepsy and their family. And so that would be very interesting to see how our brain responds to trauma in our childhood states, right? Stacy says, so that's why I can identify those who assaulted me at a young age. It makes sense to me, Stacy. I went years without being able to remember, right? And people still didn't even believe me. When I did tell them, I thought I waited all this time. You still got a problem, so you definitely weren't gonna believe me when it happened. And I was told that it could be connected. Stacey, I'm so glad that you're in counseling. That's what just makes life better is when we're able to talk about it, able to come forward, and able to get the help that we need, right? The help that we need, we don't even know we need. I go to counseling. Dr. Juanita Britt McDonald is my counselor. If y'all need a bomb counselor, Dr. Juanita is my counselor, and I stay in counseling. Every Monday is my self-love day, and I have a meeting on the calendar with Dr. Juanita if I'm not training or working. Promise you that. Because my seizure started at the age of 4. Yeah. And it's not uncommon for child sexual abuse to happen at very, very young ages. Like one time I had a case of an 18-month-year-old who had syphilis. How do you have syphilis and you 18 months? That's crazy, right? So the abuse happens at a very early age. And unfortunately, and that this month is Child Sexual Abuse Prevention Month. Like, it is big for us to raise awareness, to really be able to talk about this. And I'm gonna pop in my favorite resource, y'all, while we're talking, which is RAINN, RAINN.org, because individuals don't always know where to go. And that is where you go with so much information as it relates to childhood sexual abuse, sexual assault, putting in your zip code and getting that information. So that is one of my favorite. And I'll also drop the link after I get off so that you'll be able to have it. And then this is the link for my military people. This is the DoD sexual assault report at sapper.mil. And you can go there, you can get resources and information as well, and you can share that with people. So I think that that's important. And I'm going to show y'all 1in6.org again for my men. I think it's important that we include men. And it's not easy to be on this journey. Frankisha said, "Yay, Dr. Juanita." Yeah, Dr. Juanita is the bomb, y'all. She does rediscover me, and I'm very grateful that she's my counselor. So for me, I just share my story, y'all, not to think I'm better than anybody else, not to make people feel less than because they didn't tell anybody, but to let you know that you ain't the only one going through it, that we are all going through it, and we on this healing journey, and that you're not alone. Today, I'm gonna show y'all this. And this kind of made me feel some type of way. Okay. The South Carolina Victim Assistance Network, I haven't even posted yet, y'all. For their 38th annual South Carolina Victims' Rights Week conference, they awarded me, and it says Compassion for Faithful Service Award. Thank you for your ongoing efforts in fostering relationships with faith leaders in the community, April 1st, 2025. And I'm like, I'm getting awards after all that I went through, like being sexually assaulted, right? And I'm like, the only reason why I do this work really is about what I went through. But I'm excited about my future and where I am today. So when it was happening, I was like, girl, just think if you'd really, this is what I'm saying at the conference, y'all. Think if you really would have killed yourself, you would have never been able to get this award. 3 people at that conference came up to me that were previous clients of mine that had been sexually assaulted and I talked to before. Came up to me. I would have never been able to help them. I never would have been able to start Hush No More. I never would have been able to just build better relationships with my children, right? And so for those that are suicidal, you have suicidal ideations, you really don't want to live, life can be better. It ain't easy, but it can be better. And that's the life that I'm living now. My life ain't nowhere perfect, y'all. I'll tell you that, right? But it's not where I used to be. And you can heal, you can get the resources that you need, and you can get the support, right? And let us love on you. That's what it's about. Loving on you, making sure that you feel good, right? And not embarrassing you. That's important, that we love on individuals. And I always talk about, how do you talk to people that have been sexually assaulted or in a domestic violence relationship? Let me go back because it's Stacy. I'm sorry, Stacy. I was shocked to hear, but I am confused why I still have them. Stacy, there's the research sucks, especially when it comes to epilepsy, right? And especially when you have childhood trauma. And so I do want to get with Kim and let's talk about some of the childhood trauma that individuals experience and see if we could find a correlation, right? Um, Kim says, Stacy, because it's only part of the reason why you have seizures, right? It's only part of the reason. And so you're definitely welcome for me even to address it. And I'm so glad that you came on, because our brain, we can't control. That's the crazy part. But what we can control is what we do to bring enjoyment and love to our lives, right? What we can control is who we allow next to us. What we can control is the joy that we bring in, right? The self-care. Um, I- that's the part. I know you like the line dance. That's the joy that we bring in, because it's really hard. Okay. Kim said, I opened up to you at a book event, so I'm glad you didn't kill yourself. You are one of my favorite people, at least today, anyway. Oh, I met Kim at a book signing. I guess you're right, Kim. I would have never been able to meet you, and I never will be able to get on your nerve. I get on Kim's nerve all the time. Dr. Juanita is and you, oh, Dr. Mark Reading and me deserve it all. I am so honored to witness all greatness and be on this amazing journey. Thank you, Pele. Thank you. Dr. Juanita received an award with me today too. She's amazing, y'all. And Pele said, congratulations and blessings are on the way. And thank you. Um, it's hard to get recognized for the work that you do, and you know you're doing it because of your own trauma. I'm gonna tell you that. So for a long time, I wouldn't even tell people like awards. I've gotten a lot of awards and stuff. I don't even tell people. Because it's like it didn't make sense to me that I'm getting awarded and recognized. But I have an amazing team, amazing board members, amazing volunteers, and they are why I'm here today because they support me, they volunteer, they lift me up, they pray for me, they're at events with me, and so I couldn't do it without them. I couldn't do it alone. And so I'm so grateful. And so now I know when I get an award, it's not only just for me, it's also for those individuals who struggle like me to know that there's some smiles, some rainbows on the other side, right? There's some butterflies on the other side. And I think that's important. I think that's important for all of us to know. And one of the things that I don't hardly talk about either on the show, and I need to talk about it more, is our art therapy. It's at the bottom scrolling. We have art therapy on Zoom every Thursday night at 7 p.m. And that's just the time to get away. Art therapy is another way that I heal. I love to color. When I tell y'all I'll be in them lines and I'll be doing it, I love to color. And that's one of the things that I do to just make me feel better. So you have to find the things that make you get into a better space, make you stop thinking about your own trauma. I also did the Hush No More coloring book. It's a trauma releasing coloring book. When I tell you the coloring book is not easy, but when you're coloring in that book, you're not thinking about all the bull crap that you're going through. You're just going to be thinking about how to stay within them lines. So like all of our books are on our website, hushnomore.org. And that is the way that I really work on my trauma, is by doing other things that are not about trauma, right? And protecting myself and protecting others and being at the state house and talking crap um, about our laws and, representing those who don't have a voice and using my own voice to stand up for what I know is important. And the laws in our country suck. Right now, y'all know our president done reduce funding for a lot of nonprofits in this country. That's how we help individuals. That's how we have amazing events, right? It's by helping those through nonprofits. And right now, that's a struggle because we're not getting the funding that we need. We're not getting the support. And a lot of organizations are nervous about the services that they could give. When you're sexually assaulted, that night is a horrible night. And to getting to somebody, a hotline or somebody to talk to is priceless. It is absolutely priceless, y'all. And so I hope that a lot of the organizations can stay open during this time. Angela say, I love the way you're so practical in explaining tragic events and how to deal with trauma. Thank you, Angela. I guess I'm real basic. I try to break it down to the simplest denominator. Right? I just want it real easy to let you know like what I've been through. So thank you for letting people know that I just try to simplify it. And Kim says, it's your warrior heart and spirit we love about you. It just oozes out of you. Child. That's that. It's a lot that be oozing out of me because I be having attitudes too now. So, and yeah, Kim said, y'all come on art there because we would love to have all of you with us. And so that's what I wanted to share tonight, y'all. I just wanted to share why I do the work that I do. This month we are doing a fundraiser and it's called Love Kids. I think it's important that we love on people right after being sexually assaulted. Like some people don't even realize that when you're sexually assaulted, you don't want your underwear, your clothes, you don't want your bra, like you don't want nothing. You don't even want to smell like the individual. Like, how can we give them things? Like we're giving them like underwear and toiletry kits and a journal and affirmation cards. A lot of times they're not going to use that like right afterwards, but they might pick it up later, or they might want to write down some of the thoughts about the incident so that they don't forget because they may want to report it, right? So we're doing love kits, or what we're calling them, and that's our fundraiser from April 1st to April 30th. And we're just going to make a lot of nice little backpacks. We're going to drop them off at hospitals, at different nonprofits, and we'll have some for our organization, for our survivors. and to just love on people. So it's bit.ly, bit.ly/HNM Love Kits. And I'll drop it in the chat as well. But we're just raising money to be able to be nice to people, to show love and kindness. And that's what we do. I don't take a salary. My staff don't take a salary. Everything that we do is about love and kindness. And I work hard, y'all. People are like, you don't get no money. No. Hush no more. We're not paying ourselves. We take care of the people. We have amazing events. We try to have free events. If we charge, it's just because we couldn't afford to be able to host that one. But we do a lot of events to try to just show love and kindness to people. And so we'd love for you to do a love kit or donate towards a sponsor a love kit. If you want to write letters to go into the kids to just show people how much you love them, we would love for you to do that as well. If you want to donate to Hush No More, our cash app is Hush No More. You can also do paypal.me/Hush No More. Venmo is Hush No More. You can go to our website, hushnomore.org, and donate. Everything that we do goes back to our community, and we're helping survivors. And I help survivors no matter what their trauma is. I don't care if it's childhood sexual abuse. I don't care if it's domestic violence, because what happens is a lot of times we have multiple types of trauma that has happened to us. And so it's important that we just love on people and give back. Okay. And that's always my goal. That's always my goal. So our goal is that. Okay. Thank you, L. Martin, for just dropping in. That's important. I love it when men come in and support and just show up, because we need more men in this space, right? We need more men in this space. All right, Pele. Aha, the Barney style for me. Yeah, I break it down. I do break it down with Barney style, Pele. And Kim says, but don't get it twisted. You still irk my assets and protections at all the time. Today is just a good day. Y'all, some of the people that come around Hush No More. You made me cough, Kim. They make you laugh. I'm sorry, Kim, you done choked me for making me laugh. But and then she laughing too. I got tears in my eyes, y'all, because everybody around me give me so much joy. And I want to tell y'all that I don't have people that be causing no drama. People that love me, and I encourage you to do the same. Like I got tears in my eyes from from coughing. So thank you, Kim, for the smile. All right. We do have amazing tribe, Pele. Y'all are amazing. And it's to my, oh Lord, you about to cry. I ain't crying because you funny. I'm crying because you got me choking. Hey, Dominique. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, y'all. And Stacy, I'm sharing Hush No More now during the line dance class today. I was telling them about upcoming events. Yay! Thank you, Stacy. That's how we get it out. Our upcoming events, we got Stump Out Crime coming April 12th. That is a give day. Come out if y'all are in Columbia, South Carolina. We are giving out brand new clothes from Versona. It's fashion. Cato's, Michael Dry Cleaners has dry clean suits and dresses and clothes for us. Just we're having an amazing day. State Farm, Nora going to be there giving out things. It's going to be really special. We're going to have free food. A lot of organizations are going to be out giving out resources, but everything is free. We're going to have hot dogs. The church are giving out dinners. We're going to have face painting, bounce houses. So it's just going to be a great day. April 17th is Our Voices Matters, and that's going to be at My House. Thank you, My House, for sponsoring that. And we're doing it with Hollow Art. Those are our sponsors. And we are going to have poetry night. And we also going to hear from artists that belong to Hollow Art. So they're going to be performing. We're going to have poetry. It's going to be a great night. We are just going to love on each other and have a good time that night. It starts at 8 p.m. And Rashawn Lagarde is coming from Ohio to be one of the feature poet. And Bugsy Calhoun and Boogie is going to be our host. So it's going to be real dope, y'all. And next week, matter of fact, Rashawn is going to be on, and we're going to talk about poetry. And his story is military sexual trauma as well. And we're going to talk about that, right? We're going to talk about how we heal through poetry and from the things that we go through. Right. Every event I attend is always amazing. Thank you, Dominique. That's our goal. And you've been to retreats. So it's always our goal to just love, right? To love on each other. And I love for y'all to come into this space. We're working on our waterfall hike right now. And so y'all are going to be seeing that. And we'll be in Puerto Rico in June, but that's sold out. So I'm not even going to tell y'all about that because y'all will get mad at me. But we'll be in Puerto Rico in June for another retreat going to the rainforest. Carissa, hello, Dr. Guide. I wish I was closer. It seems like it's going to be amazing. Thank you, beautiful. It is. I just love blessing God's people. I really, really do. I love blessing God's people. And October 18th is our domestic violence walk. So y'all put that on your calendar. Come out, help us, support. If you want to volunteer, you can go to our website, register to volunteer. But it's all about love and kindness. That's what it's about. So thank y'all for joining me tonight. It means a lot for y'all to listen to me and to share with me. And I honor you. I honor anyone who's been through trauma. And before I go, I want to give you this. I always use the acronym GIVE. When people come to you and they tell you something so personal, so important, this is what you could do. G stands for be gentle with them because they chose you out of all the people in the whole wide world to share their trauma with. So be gentle with them, right? Be gentle with them. Please. I'll be interested in what they have to say. Don't be looking at your cell phone or your watch. Be interested. Pay attention. Be like, do. This is the time that I need to pay attention to what this person is telling me. So they feel important. V, validate how they feel. If this is the worst thing that ever happened to them, it's the worst thing that ever happened to them. Right? Don't say, oh, it'll be okay, or it's not that bad. Like I've heard people say, well, it was just sexual harassment. You weren't sexually assaulted. That sucks. Validate how they feel. And validating how somebody feels doesn't mean that you believe them. It's not even your place whether you believe them or not. You're just validating them for where they are in that space. And then E stands for empower, elevate, encourage. Everything that you say to come out of your mouth should be nice. It should make a person feel better, right? You shouldn't say things like, well, if I was you, right? I would do this or I wouldn't do this. All I want you to do is how can I help you? How can I help you? How can I support you? What do you need from me? That's what you say after somebody tells you something that's so personal. Not all the other questions like why you didn't tell me or why did you wait so long or why did you go there? Why were you with him anyway? Why were you with her? Why you trusted her? Like we don't need to hear that. We just want you to support us and love us because that's some bull crap. When people come at us that way after we're trying to share our trauma with them, we don't want to hear that. I'm gonna tell you, that's the last thing that people really want to hear, right? So the acronym is GIVE, be gentle, be interested, validate, and then empower, encourage, right? Those are important. That's what we need from you. We don't need all the other stuff. And when people tell me that they've been assaulted, I always say I honor you in this moment because I know that it is very hard to talk about this, right? It's very hard to discuss it. So I encourage you all to just be gentle with people, to have a good heart, to show love and kindness. If there's any organizations in your area, volunteer with them, right? Support them, show up for people because this is a hard journey and people really need someone to support them during this time. So thank y'all for listening to all my business. And I'm excited. This month I'll be in Niagara Falls training. I'll be at Fort Campbell training. I'm excited about this month. I'll be in DC, so I'll be in some pretty cool places. And if I can see you, I will. If you're in that area, so peace and blessings to you all. Before I get out of here, I do want to shout out CTR Media Network and Dr. Tina Ramsey because she's our sponsor and she sponsors our podcast and it's on their network. So not only are we streaming on all podcast platforms, we're also streaming live on TV through CTR Media Network. And so I'm so grateful for them. So y'all check them out and support when you can. And I got some more comments. Thank you, V, for showing up for us all. And Kendra, I'm watching from IG alone. So this is my first night streaming to IG. So it's pretty cool because I saw some IG folks come on and we're actually trying to grow our IG. So that's important as well. Hey Jamal. Thank you. I didn't get to see you today at SC Van at the conference, but I really appreciate you and for all the work that you do too. Even though I haven't seen you in a while, I appreciate you, Jamal, because you're a super victim advocate. And Janetta, thank you as well. Thank you. And I appreciate you. And thank you for always volunteering and supporting. And Carissa said, thank you and have a good night. I'm so proud of you and all you're doing. Thank you, beautiful. It means a lot that you popped on. So thank y'all. I'm going to go and I'm just so happy tonight. I feel great, y'all. Just been able to share. And I encourage you all to share as well and to share with somebody. Don't hold that trauma in because, baby, if you don't get it out, it'll eat you up. Peace and blessings, and know that we love you. Kendra, my questions was, should I validate drama queens? Um, Expound on that, Kendra. Before I go out, what do you mean? Should I validate drama queens? What do you mean? Hurry up and type, because I sure won't know what you mean. So while Kendra is typing, I'm going to remind y'all of some resources. So, Sapper.mil is for my military family, for y'all to get resources, right? And be able to go look at the reports and the statistics. Rain.org for individuals, and no matter where you are. When people contact me in like different areas, I always go to Rain and look up resources for them. And then just for my men, 1in6.org is a great organization as well. And y'all can always come to hushnomore.org or contact us, go to our website, reach out to us to see how we can support you as well. And I encourage you to share our page, our website, our events. And we are up to over 11,000 followers on Hush No More. So that means a lot to us because the more followers you have, the more sponsorships you get. Like Prisma Health is the hospital here, and they asked me, like, how many followers do you have? And I was like, we got over 11,000 followers now. So that's big. And I'm trying to grow IG. So I went on IG tonight for the first time ever. I figured out how to go live on IG. So I'm really grateful for that. All right, Kendra. I still don't see your comment. So if you post your comment, I will go and follow up with you on live. Oh, there you go. The V in give is for validate, but I don't want to encourage drama queens by validating them. So the V, when I talk about give, I'm talking about when somebody come to you and talk to you about their trauma, right? When you have individuals that one have previously been sexually assaulted, an individual who have a lot of things going on in their lives, when you have individuals who are very hypersexual, they've had a lot of sexual partners, right? Predators go after those individuals because they know people won't believe them. So even though people are drama queens, sometimes this is a moment that they just really need you. They might have a lot of drama in their life, but what is this the one time that they need you? So you could validate them, show them love and kindness, and that's it, right? And validating is just saying that how you feel today is how you feel. And I'm talking about this from trauma, no, so not about you always gossiping and woe is me and people out to get you. Not that kind of stuff, not the messy stuff. Give us for those that really, really are just going through. And I will tell you that a lot of times when it's like human trafficking, right? People don't believe them because those are the kids that ran away, and a lot of times they was the ones that was getting in trouble, and now they're human trafficking. And so people don't even go look for them because of that, because they had so much drama associated, or they were skipping school, or they got in a lot of trouble, or they were doing drugs. Those are the ones that end up in human trafficking. And so they're targeted. So a lot of times people that had a drama are the ones that's targeted. But this is just really for that friend, that person that comes to you that you love, right? And that you want to support. That's when you use give. And I hope I answered your question. Oh, you're welcome, Kendra. You're welcome. Yeah, not this just for people that's just kind of going through in this moment and they need some support, right? And Dr. Tina, thank you, Dr. Tina. I was just talking about you. I don't know if you was on, but I was telling about like how amazing you are and for sponsoring us with CTR Media Network. So y'all check her out. She's real supportive and I learned a lot. All right. I am out of here tonight. Thank you all for coming. We will be back next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will definitely have another great conversation, but it won't be my business. All right. Peace, y'all.